Hi, this is Terry. Welcome back to my channel. It's been nearly 2 weeks since we started isolating or sheltering in place, and it's been a long 2 weeks. I think I pretty much hit the wall yesterday.
Feels like it's been like a month and a half.
Every day feels like, yeah. So, recording this on Friday, and I'm gonna say cheers, it's happy hour. I waited until 4 o'clock to pour myself a cocktail, and I missed my 3 o'clock Rocky Road ice cream bags because Ray and my husband finished off the last container, and I didn't want to open up a new container. Plus, I was on a conference call, and Ray, I know you're surprised, I have a 3 o'clock Rocky Road ice cream bags. Pretty much tells you how things are going. I've not been feeling great. I don't know if it's just the underlying anxiety, tension, stress.
But when was the last time you got outside and got some fresh air and some sunshine?
That's actually a really good point. I was last out of the house at the beach on Sunday. I'm recording this on Friday. I think I cut flowers out in front one day, but for the most part, I have not been outside. It's not that I'm not being kept busy. I am still journaling every day, doing my French, writing down my 3 gratitudes, writing down my wins for the day, feeding the family. Fortunately, I don't have to clean up after dinner. That's Zeke and Adam's job. This morning I was on a webinar starting at 7 o'clock that went for about an hour and a half, put on by a company called Ogilvy, and Ritesh Patel moderated it, and he's one of my favorite people. And it was on, open data rules in healthcare. And then that was followed by another hour-long webinar that was on how clinical trials are being handled or canceled with COVID-19. And then it's just been back-to-back investor type stuff. I spent over an hour with a founder who's trying to refine and revise her pitch deck. So I gave her feedback on how to map out the journey, and then planning dinner and it's been a busy day. Today's been a lot more productive than yesterday, where I spent, I think, an hour and a half napping, and then I did have some therapeutic time in the kitchen where I spent 2 hours prepping the vegetables and the spices so that we could make Indian for dinner last night, which was a delicious meal.
It was awesome.
It was awesome. Yeah. And then Ray and I cooked for an hour and a half, so it was quite the journey. I put in my AirPods and listened to Where the Crawdads Sing, which...
Oh, what do you think?
I'm enjoying it, because I started to listen to it, I don't know, sometime last year, and it was like, nope, not interested. And then Ray read it and suggested that I read it.
I listened to it. I've not actually finished it yet. I kind of dropped it.
Okay. Well,
I've been meaning to pick it up again.
I was listening to it as I was chopping away, and we made butter chicken, chicken tikka masala, saag without the paneer. I did a potato cauliflower dish, and I added diced tomatoes to it. Ray made naan. We had jasmine or basmati rice, we think. And then
the bags were unlabeled.
I feel like we had one more dish, but raita. Fortunately, Zeke cleaned the house today because the kitchen was a little bit of a mess, which actually brings up something, because he expected that our housekeeper would come on Tuesday. And I was like, hell no, we are not introducing any new people into our household. As a risk balancing type thing, our son is working as a bagger at the local market, and that's already increasing our risk in terms of bringing germs into the household. And Sophie, Adam's girlfriend, is babysitting a couple days a week for a family, and that also increases that risk, which is why Ray's not going out, I'm not going out, and I was like, nobody's coming into our house. So anyway, the 2 weeks, what's fascinating is I reached out to my friend Steph, whose birthday is today. Happy birthday, Steph. She is in Minnesota, and they are starting their sheltering place tonight, which I thought was really late, given that we're almost 2 weeks into it here in Northern California. I think some states are still in denial, and the numbers keep going up. And if you're not paying attention, I totally get it. If you are paying attention, it's frightening. But I'm doing my best to stay upbeat. optimistic and positive and continuing to create whatever our new normal is for the time being, which seems to adjust every single day. And it's going to get even more interesting now that the kids are actually going to be on spring break. And so, Ray, you don't have classes for 10 days, no homework.
Nope.
Sophie has, I think, a bunch of plays to read, so that's going to keep her busy, and she's got her babysitting job. And we're going to try to pull out some arts and crafts and art supplies and maybe do a few more puzzles. Adam's going to work a lot and hopefully get a little bit of a break. And then I don't know what Zeke is up to. I was hoping to take some time off, but I think I just picked up a new client, so I will be doing that work next week. Next week is my last week before I turn 50. And I'm
Happy early birthday.
Thanks, honey bun. I don't know if I'm stressing about it. I'm anxious that it's going to come and go completely unnoticed. I know I said I don't want any big celebrations until I turn 52, but I'd still like to have my birthday be a little bit of a big deal. I know my mom who watches this. Hi, Mom. I know you're a little stressed that we're not going to be able to get together to celebrate, but we'll chat. I think you figured out Zoom today, so maybe we can do...
Also, FaceTime's a thing.
Exactly. There's technology. We can do something. We will figure it out. Another thing I continue to do to maintain my sanity is my afternoon virtual happy hours with friends. Sunday, I'm going to do a virtual coffee hour with my friend Imen, who's in Paris. I'm looking forward to connecting with her and making sure that she's okay. Because as I mentioned, I think in the last one, they've been doing the restez à la maison for longer than we have here in the Bay Area. So it's just like, in a few minutes, I've got a virtual happy hour with my friend Laura, who's in Oklahoma City. And like, who else have I connected with from around the country? You know what, that's another thing. I have reached out to a couple of people who I don't normally talk to on a regular basis, but I wanted to just check in. And so I have different people scheduled for me to call every day to make sure that they're doing okay. So my friend Ira, who's in Reno, my executive coach Bev, who's back in Massachusetts on the Cape, and just a number of other people that I'm reaching out to. We had a call with someone who's trying to decide whether to go to your high school or somebody else's, so that was an hour-long call today.
It was half an hour for me.
Oh, it was an hour for me.
I left midway through.
And then I kept on going. So it was just like different things that are in 30 to 90 minute chunks that are taking up my time. Some, I think, slightly exciting news, and I don't know if I've talked about it before, is I've been thinking about what my next book is going to be about, and I think it's going to be something around women claiming our power individually and collectively to change the world. Thinking about doing a digital conference in September, and so I'll be reaching out to the authors of some books on various different topics to both educate and inform on what the problems are structurally, systematically, institutionally, and then what we can do providing pathways for us to really make some progress and make some significant changes. So I need to map that out. I need to stop being a chicken shit, just map that out and start reaching out to the people who I want to have be a part of it, because I want to make sure that the women get paid. So I'm going to have to get sponsors, and I've never done anything like this before. So
I believe in you. You got this.
Well, I'm hoping my friend Elizabeth will help me with the underlying technology and getting that all mapped out. And then I just have to worry about content and inviting people, and then we can work on the marketing around that. And that will also lead into the book. And so I'm starting to read some books and listen to some podcasts, and I'm starting slowly the research around it, and maybe having it ready to be published in March of next year, so a year from now. Ooh. So yeah, I may be doing some blog posts on it just to see if what I see is needed and what I see can happen with the book aligns with what anybody else might be looking for. At the same time, I do know that I generally tend to be about 2 years ahead. So if it means, so I might be a little bit ahead, but I just feel like right now is just such a ripe time. I've seen this one particular woman keeps posting about how women are really going to be hit with the pandemic, the results of it, and then we're going to be hit hardest economically. So whatever we can do to position ourselves to have greater power and control in the short term and the long term, I think it's going to be better for better for us women, better for our children, and then better for society as a whole, which is what I'm all in on. At the same time, I'm trying to do a lot more stuff with my technology stuff and writing some more blog posts around that, so I can continue to drum up some new consulting business around the potentially interim CIO or strategic IT and compliance services for...
You're saying a lot of words, Mom.
So I do IT work within biotech companies, so and I also do expert witness work for failed technology projects, and so I need to continue to drum up business around that, so I'll be doing some more blog posts. And my husband barely understands what it is that I do, so you're right, I was throwing out a bunch of words.
It makes you sound very fancy, don't worry.
It's a very niche market. It's something that not a lot of people do, not a lot of people pay attention to, but I've created a successful business out of it over the last 15 years. So I think that may be just about it. I've got, as I said, I've got a cocktail hour coming up, so I want to get ready for that. Right? Anything?
We're chilling.
So thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. If you want to get notified of the videos as they come out, make sure to click that little bell thing. I've started doing that to get notified from some of my favorite YouTube artists. And with that, take some risks.
Not health risks.
Not health risks. Let go of perfection, and above all else, have some fun.
Wash your hands too.
And wash your